ghost and vampire tour. Show of hands, who's a fan of vampires here? Cool, cool. I love vampires. What's your guys' favorite vampire? I swear to God, if you say one that sparkles in the sunlight, you're off my tour. That's a good one. What about you guys? Dracula, that's good. What about you guys? Damn it. Hi. Alright,
Blackula. You remember Blackula?
Yeah, I remember Blackula.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too. That's a good one. That's fair. That's fair. Count Chocula. Anyway, now this stop, the building that I'm pointing your direction to, this white building right over here on this corner. Okay. Now, fun fact: this is the oldest building in the Lower Mississippi River Valley. The building was actually built in the year 1718. To give you guys a little layout context of the building. Okay. So the first floor, it's called the Old Ursuline Convent, by the way. The first floor is a museum dedicated to the Catholic Archdiocese of New Orleans. I cannot go in this museum because I will like burst into flames like immediately. But like I said, it's a museum dedicated to the Catholic Archdiocese of New Orleans. It's also a reception hall. People get married there. The second floor are offices, archives, and libraries where they discuss the year's events and probably talk about how they get out of paying taxes every year. And the third floor is a prison for vampires. Any questions? No? Let's go. Third floor, we believe, is a prison for vampires. To explain that situation, I'm going to give you guys a little history on the city of New Orleans. So in the early 1700s, we were expected to be a very bustling port city. However, we had a big problem. And the problem that I'm talking about is not the mosquitoes, the gators, the snakes, and the rats. What I'm talking about is the fact that the men outnumbered the women of the city 8-1, right? Now, made for two things. One, very lonely men, and two, very exhausted women, you know, running away from the creeps and such. Our governor at the time, his name is Bienville. He writes the King of France and said, dude, it's a straight up andouille sausage fest here. Please send us some French babes so we can make them our wives and populate your colony for you. King of France says, sure, Benny, no problem, I'll get right on that. Now, Bienville is expecting the King of France to send us Paris's most eligible bachelorettes. And that is not how that goes down at all. The King of France decides to empty out the asylums, the prisons, and the brothels, and those are the people he chooses to send to the city of New Orleans. Hasn't changed much, has it? No. Problem with this is the fact that it was considered very bad luck to have a woman on the top deck of a ship at the time. Okay? So all of these ladies, already coming from a very rough walk of life, not in the best health or condition, are crammed on the bottom deck of this boat on an 18-month voyage. That's how long it takes to get from Paris to the city of New Orleans. Okay, by boat. So for this the entire 18-month voyage, they encounter some issues. One, they do not see the light of the sun for the entire 18 months. Okay. Two, tuberculosis is a problem, and a lot of people realize that tuberculosis, if one person catches it in pretty small quarters, everyone's going to get it. And tuberculosis makes people cough up blood. Pretty gross. Okay. The third thing they're dealing with is scurvy. It's just all-around general malnutrition. Now, a symptom of scurvy, a very not well-known symptom of scurvy, is causes your gum lines to recede. You guys see the little pretty picture that I'm painting right now, right? Men of New Orleans line up on their levees with their little white handkerchiefs, expecting to wave down their new hot, very hot French babe wives. What gets off the ship are women who are pale as the driven snow, shriek at the light of the sun, sporting blood-drenched gowns with elongated canine teeth. Okay? Now, men of New Orleans take one look at these ladies and say, hell no, and run the opposite direction. Okay? Now, the worst cherry on top of this terrible sundae is the country of France, before these ladies' voyage, gave each one of them a box of all of their earthly belongings in. Now, this box happened to measure about 6 by 2 by 3. Okay, typically your size of a casket. Okay, let's just say. So if you see a lady that I just described to you dragging behind her a long wooden box, say, "Hey, dude, marry me." I don't think so. The nuns, however, see what kind of state these ladies are in, and they take pity on them, and they bring them up to them. And so the story goes, have the casket girls of New Orleans, or une femme cachette, that's what we call them. Now, given this information, we still do believe it is a prison for vampires, or at least something supernatural, for a couple of reasons. Okay? You can count, staring at this building right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 distinct storm shutters at the top of the building. Now, it is said that each one of these windows are sealed shut with 100 silver nails apiece, each blessed by the Pope himself. Now, I will say this. This is one part of the story that I do kind of call bull on. I'll tell you guys why. That's because 2 blocks down, there's actually a local police station. And recently, about a month ago, all of the copper piping was stolen from behind the police station, like overnight. So if you mean to tell me there's 500 pieces of silver in that attic right there, that would have been gone in this city like yesterday. I would have taken it, let's be honest. I just incriminated myself, that's fun. Anyway, now, if you're going to go into the museum during normal operating hours and say, hey guys, I want to go to your attic. I want to check out the resident vamps you keep here. What they're going to tell you is 2 things. They're going to tell you, 1, don't listen to those psychos on the tour, especially Alex. He's pretty weird. That's not a lie. 2, they're going to tell you we can't take you to the attic because our stairs are so old and so rickety that it presents a health hazard. Now, my problem with this statement is, guys, this is a Catholic building. Your Messiah of Catholicism is a carpenter, and you can't fix your stairs. That doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Now, the most compelling piece of evidence that we have, this is still a prison for vampires, came in here in 1988, okay, where we had a team of 2 paranormal investigators come here to the city of New Orleans. They knew about the Cassie girls. They wanted to get to the bottom of the story, right? What they did was they set up camera equipment right here on this corner, focused on the windows of the property on the top floor. Now, this camera was set to take a picture every 5 seconds, okay? I would love to tell you guys what was on the camera. Next morning, the camera was found smashed to bits, along with the murdered bodies of the paranormal investigators that brought them. Okay? Now, both of these paranormal investigators were found with identical wounds. And it is not what you think. It is not bite marks to the neck. Okay? They were actually found with 5-inch lacerations behind their shoulder blade. Now, it is said, the coroner's report stated, that it looked like the tooth or claw of a wild animal cut through their back, broke the back of the rib cage, and severed an artery, and removed 92% of their blood through quote-unquote violent mechanical sucking. I don't know what more evidence you guys want that there is something in that attic. Now, there has been only 1 person in the past 80 years to go to the attic of this property that doesn't work for the Archdiocese of New Orleans, okay? And her name is Marita Crandall. And she just so happens to be the founder of something called the Sanguinarian Society of New Orleans, which is basically the tight-knit community of vampires here in the city. Now, why have a self-proclaimed vampire, the lady who literally wrote the book on the history of New Orleans vampires, check out your property to debunk the theory that it's a vampire prison? My thought is they want to see if the trap still works, and she was able to like walk in the attic and walk right back out, and they're like, damn, it doesn't work anymore. But those windows stay shut about 95% of the time. Okay? They are always meant to be shut on this very block. Is it related? I don't know that many vampires that carry blocks, so probably not. Nevertheless, considered a very bad omen. So please, if you ever find yourself back in the city of New Orleans, taking a little midnight stroll down the street, you see one of those windows open, do good old Alex a great favor, and please take yourself back to the hotel. You'll thank me for it later. Any questions about New Orleans vampires? Get around this property with caution, because negative energy has been known to attach itself to people around this house. You guys still up for going there? All right, guys, we're gonna go this way.
Believe that story, or y'all think that's cap?
I don't know, man. Full moon, oh shit. Oh shit, you're full moon, yo.